What is going on, guys? Oh, looks like we lost the camera. Hold on. Let me get the camera going. All right, well, you can hear me. You can hear me, but you can't see me. Give me just a second. Let's see if I'll pop up on the screen now. Let's see. Okay, there we go. What is going on, guys, gals, aliens, and degen freaks? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing well. There's a lot to cover today. Hopefully we can get it all organized and we can get it all out, but there's always interesting things happening in the crypto space. And one of them being that, you know, we know the dogs and the frogs do well in terms of the memes in crypto, but we can't forget about the cats. So we got this big one, Simon's cat, that's on the Binance Smart Chain that got big support from Binance and also from apparently Floki and all these other projects. And it's had a pretty amazing launch. So we're going to cover that. We're going to go into that. We're also going to go into the ape chain. We have a Twitter post that breaks down the whole thing of why ApeCoin is pumping, the reason for all the sudden influx. Well, there is an ape chain now. So if you're familiar with the ApeCoin, it is the coin that was airdropped to all of the Bored Ape holders, which is an NFT collection. There's Bored Apes, then there's also Mutant Apes, but particularly the Bored Apes. If you were a Bored Ape holder, you got airdropped this token, and then there's also the other side, Metaverse, that is involved all with this, with the creators being Yuga Labs. And so, yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Bitcoin's also retesting some support areas where we just hit resistance, so we're going to cover that. We're going to cover the news that has actually been kind of circulating and breaking, that the election results are not going to come out until 4 days after the election date. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that's also wild. That's breaking news that it could be that we on November 5th will not know who the president is until 5 days after that. Maybe until November 10th. Because of the nature of this election, it doesn't surprise me. But guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, subscribing, dinging the bell to be notified so you guys can get these live streams and all of this cryptocurrency data in what is the Dano Dojo crew. All right, so check this out. We're going to look at Bitcoin right now. And I want to show you guys one thing first. I want to show you, I don't want to show you the daily, I want to show you the weekly. Okay, so the weekly, and not even just the chart. I want to show you the MACD on the weekly. This is something that is just so bullish. The MACD on the weekly for Bitcoin, of us sitting at 67,000 right now, and being that the histogram has finally given us on the weekly an indication of selling pressure going down. Selling pressure going down, and then we have the buying pressure, more buying coming in. We're getting more Bitcoins getting sent off exchanges than it being sent on to be traded and dumped. So we have all the ETF acquiring, we have ETF inflows, we have the institutions that are buying the Bitcoin on Coinbase and Binance or wherever they're buying it, mainly Coinbase. About 80 to 90% of the Bitcoin that is being supplied is coming through Coinbase as well. So then you got to think about the future implications of the coin stock, which is the only publicly traded cryptocurrency company that is an exchange that has a stock on the stock exchange, the United States New York Stock Exchange. Just to remind you guys that. So you want to keep a lot of those things in mind when you're starting to forecast into the future of what are going to be the best performing stocks that are crypto related, but then also just being bullish on crypto and knowing that Bitcoin is sitting at its most bullish weekly setup in a long time. And since the last time we've had that bullish weekly setup was when the last time that we broke out substantially, and seeing that if you looked at the MACD at certain points where we had that massive breakout, look right here, October 2023. And then that was when, right before, we had that influx of the ETF buying through BlackRock. And then we get a pump up to all-time highs. So now, what I want to break down for you guys is the banana zone, because obviously you read the title right. It's Bitcoin and bananas, a love story. So what is this love story that has been developing with Bitcoin every 4 years? Every 4 years, like Bitcoin, it's almost like Bitcoin goes to battle, goes to war, and all the people, the wives of Bitcoin, the lovers of Bitcoin, they get left on the sidelines in the trenches. But then all of a sudden, the banana comes in, and the banana is hope. The banana is based. The banana is delicious. The banana is curved. The banana is well endowed. The banana is peeled. The banana is now indeed ready to be peeled. So the banana comes in, and all the lovers come back in, and we start to get that massive move to the upside. So what is the banana? Why am I talking about a banana? What's the banana zone? Now, the banana zone is the parabolic move that we get in halving years. So in a halving year, we perfectly have a 4-year election cycle lined up with the halving years, which I don't think was not a coincidence. So I think that it was planned by Satoshi Nakamoto, because with how the money supply works during these elections and during times of inflation or deflation or whatever it may be, recession, depression, we have these cycles of money and printing money. So there's points where there's more money that is out in supply than other times. And so now, because of the nature of fiat currency, we have a massive influx of inflation of the currency because of the money printer coming on. Well, where does a lot of that money end up going? Because of the way that they can print the money and then also make quadruple the amount of money by insider trading, knowing where to put it, quote, rigged stock market. And then you can see inevitably what happens. But with Bitcoin, you can see the sentiment of Bitcoin going up in the banana zone always happens after the halving year, but it takes about 500 days afterwards where we see the biggest run. And so it looks like a banana, starting from the bottom, where it starts from the year point of the halving and then goes up. That's when we get the crazy zone. Now, us being out of the fourth halving, we are, let's see, because it was at the end of April, so we're going to April, May, June, July, August, September, October. We are only 6 months out of the halving. And you can see here that after a year, and even after this point of the second halving, because it even took a little bit longer, and the peak was actually a good 523 days after the halving, I think we're going to see a very similar rhymed portion of the market where we start to go into the $300,000 ranges because of the price fractal that happened in halving 2, and even in halving 3, we had a price fractal, 200% increase on the price fractal 3. If we have price fractal 2 of just like the halving and we get a move of 400% to the upside, that actually does bring us perfectly to the range that we have marked, which is our bull target of $350,000 per Bitcoin. You see it lines up perfectly. It's at a 400% move to the upside right at $340,000 to $350,000 per Bitcoin. Now, I'm very confident in this price target because it's the same amount of time, it's the same amount of moves, and if you go from the April halving right here, and you go over, you have to go over you have to go over 500, about an average of 500 days. An average of 500 days actually brings us into September of next year. September of next year. So could you say that we get something just like what happened in like almost like a combination of what happened in 2020 of 2017 and then in 2020? Because in 2020 we had the double top. Right here we just crushed up. What if we really actually crush up and then we actually do a double top? We go down and then we go up again to break another all-time high of going into, say, $500,000. I mean, imagine you do this, it retraces down, crashes to 273. Imagine a crash to 273. You're like, what? You're like, oh my gosh. You know, we're at 350,000, and then now we're talking about a crash to 273. I mean, gosh, where are we? Like, what are we even speaking about? And then all of a sudden, it starts to pump up again to 500 because of a supply shock, and then who knows what's going to happen after that? Who knows? Maybe we just create a completely different market structure because of the nature of how much liquidity is coming into the markets. We suspect that we get a $7 trillion market cap on Bitcoin, $1 trillion market cap on Ethereum, a total $1 trillion market cap on memes alone, just memes, and then the rest of the market of the altcoins would be valued at a $1 trillion market cap as well. And so that would mean we would be sitting at a total of a 10 to 11 to 12 trillion dollar market cap total for the space. And if you think about it, you go to the total market cap right now and you actually look at it on the chart, it looks like a big bullish cup and handle pattern. If you were to kind of spread it out a little bit, it looks like a super bullish cup and handle pattern that's going to break out to the upside and just surpass 3.5 trillion easy here in the next 6 months, especially with the growth of Solana, even with the growth of BNB, the growth of XRP, Tron, Toncoin, the Avalanche. I mean, these are still heavy hitters right now, and all of these at their highest valuations, we're at some serious market cap. And also just by trading volume, you can kind of look and see what is the narrative now. ApeCoin, we're going to talk about it. ApeCoin did just a massive run, 130% move to the upside whenever we had that bullish news of the chain launch. And so it's pretty big. I think a lot of Bored Ape holders of the NFT, a lot of the Bored Apes, they are holding this token. A lot of them I don't think have really sold. I think there probably was a lot of selling pressure, but I think ultimately there's probably a good portion of the ape holders that are also holding the token for it to go back to around its all-time high, which was like what was it? Yeah, oh my gosh, all-time high was $39 because it launched at like a super high valuation. And so I think even it getting back up to even just like $6 or even like halfway up the range or $7, we're looking at some pretty decent returns here. So let's actually go into this tweet that I found that someone broke down all of the things that are bullish on this ape chain. Where is it at? That's not it. Where is it at? I hope I didn't lose it. Let's see. It was a really good breakdown. Where is it at? Oh no. Sometimes X has been doing that with every time I try and find. Let's see. No, that's not it. Oh man, it was a really good one. Where the heck did it go? Is this it? No. There it is. Yay, okay, I found it. Okay, so check this out. So it's also, he's referencing the opportunity, kind of like how Ton and Tron recently, a lot of people started going into some of the new memes and getting into some new opportunities. So this billionaire son is saying the big profits in crypto are made from being early. So we do know this. If you're early, then you have a more of a potential to the upside, obviously, than buying in at the top. That 100x profit you missed on Sui, Tron, Solana could happen on Ape Chain. So a small Ape Chain onboarding post. So Ape Chain is an Arbitrum OURBIT layer 3 that launched 24 hours ago. So when was this posted? This was posted 2 days. This is 2 days ago. All right, so let's see. I'm just gonna break this because I was thinking about this. I was like, it could be something to think about because of the fact of the ape being the gas. So, and this is the same thing with Ticker Bitcoin. Ticker Bitcoin's chain, Bitcoin is going to be the gas. The Ticker Bitcoin is going to be used as gas on the chain. So that could boost up the flow of money into said coins. All right, so first, Ape is the gas token on the Ape chain. So DEX swap, Camelot, DEX. And if we're familiar with Camelot, if you're bullish on Arbitrum, then you'd be bullish on Camelot because it is the exchange that you can do, swaps. I think you could do perpetuals and spot on there as well. I haven't been on there in a minute. I got to double check it. And then you can also use the wallet MetaMask. So you could add the Ape chain, which we're going to do here. We're actually going to do it probably after we finish the stream. You can buy Ape from Arbitrum chain and bridge the Ape from the Arbitrum chain to the Ape chain via, I love that by Stargate Finance. We've talked about this coin for months and months and months now. This is one of our, I think, like a very easy 5x going into this bull run with the functionality of Stargate Finance and how many chains you can use on Stargate Finance. It just reveals to you the bullish chains. Like Metis is on there, Optimism and Arbitrum and all these different layer 2s are on there. So you got it. So that opens up your mind of what different coins you could be holding. That could be a bullish hold. All right, so you can add the Ape chain on MetaMask, and then so tricks for an easy win on Ape chain is you just just like we've done on Dex Screener, Dex Tools, any of these early tokens that start to hit, or when people start to pivot into these certain chains, you're just gonna go and kind of find what has the highest liquidity, matched with good volume. Market cap doesn't really mean anything. It just, I think, liquidity, volume. Look at the narrative. See if it's something that could be even as long lasting as getting up to over 1 million to 2 million and sustaining it for more than 24 hours. then that could be a good thing. But I liked the breakdown. It was a good breakdown. So we're actually going to like it and we're going to repost it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about ApeCoin, the Ape Chain, and if this is ultimately bullish overall. I think it is. I think it's not bad. All right, so we wanted to play some clips of Michael Saylor Michael Saylor, always in the topic of discussion when it comes to Bitcoin and the future of Bitcoin and his overall sentiment with holders. And he said something controversial recently. And so we're going to play a couple clips from Saylor, and then we'll ultimately would love to get your opinions on it.
We just inadvertently backed into that, because to do what we did, you have to start with a very small company, a $1 billion company, and then we become a $40 billion company, and now we're 150% Bitcoin. So if you take another $1 billion company and do what we're doing, you can't catch us, because at this point we can grow $5–10 billion a year in capital or faster. You can't catch us if you start with the same thing. But if you take a big company like Google or Meta or Microsoft or Apple, and they took 50 billion, and they bought 50 billion of Bitcoin, well, that would be good for Bitcoin, and that would be good for their shareholders. And if Apple did it a lot, they might add $1 trillion to their market cap. But it would be $1 trillion on top of $3 trillion. So at the end of the day, Apple would be an enterprise, 25% Bitcoin, 75% Apple. MicroStrategy is an enterprise, 150% Bitcoin. So how do you create a company which is 150% Bitcoin that can sell billions of dollars of fixed income instruments or billions of equity into the market with a permanent capital base that's going to oscillate, it's going to vibrate with the frequency of Bitcoin, right? That is, I'd love to say we had the idea 4 years ago and that's what we were trying to do. No, we just kind of stumbled onto just a really great business.
And I love that he's honest, and he was like, I wish, like it was like we just like were super, super smart and knew everything. But he was like, oh, well, we just kind of stumbled on this and we gave it a shot. We tested the strategy. And then if it works, then there you go. I mean, that's like, they probably went into the fact, and I'm telling you, they went into the fact of studying the halving and studying what happens after the halving. And Rob Paul goes really heavy into this, where that's what the cycles mean. This is where we have bull markets and bear markets. We have these points of consolidation and risk on, risk off, and you can kind of see it in the chart. But Bitcoin has this amazing mechanism built into it, which once you start to understand it and start to understand how the reason why things go up in price in goods is because the amount of dollars that are in the supply that represent the value of said good and service. And so when that inflation hits hard and your house starts to go up, everything just starts to go up. Everything. Gas starts to go up. All that stuff because of the inflation of the dollar. So what Bitcoin is, and luckily we have something like this, is a digital cash system that is validated by a network of computers. And there is only 21 million Bitcoin, which that's not even the whole supply anymore. A big portion of it is lost. So really, if you look at it, there might be it's still a very smaller portion of the supply that's actually circulating around. Not to mention, we have the treasure trove that is Satoshi's wallet. And so with this not ever increasing, more so it's getting more scarce. And so this is what the supply and demand mechanism is going to eventually do and kick in. And Bitcoin is a representation of where we are at monetarily in the world in terms of the whole world monetary fiat supply. Because it being at $1 million per coin is going to be a direct representation of how much more fiat money is going, and the deficit is just going to start still going up. And so this is why Bitcoin is so important.
If there is more Bitcoin.
Now, this is the controversial comment that Michael Saylor made calling the Bitcoin fam paranoid crypto anarchists.
Bitcoins held with these third-party custodians. What risk does that pose, having greater supply held by fewer large institutions? Does that increase the risk of seizure and confiscation like we've seen with gold? And is that not exactly what Bitcoiners don't want to happen?
No, I think it's the opposite. I think that when the Bitcoin is held by a bunch of crypto anarchists who aren't regulated entities, who don't acknowledge government or don't acknowledge taxes or don't acknowledge reporting requirements, that increases the risk of seizure. You have an OG crypto community that's very hardcore about it, but if you look at where all the money is, 99.9% of the money is actually in the traditional economy.
If you consider the Great Depression, I mean, people thought that their gold was safe in banks until the Executive Order of 1933. So we're not entirely safe. I mean, I know that's kind of a wild thing to suggest may happen again, but history does repeat itself. So people's Bitcoin wouldn't be entirely safe. It's
people say that, but mostly it's paranoid crypto anarchists that say that. Okay? Because it's a myth and a trope that goes on over and over again. But first of all, he didn't really seize the gold. People voluntarily turned in the gold. They didn't go and kick in everybody's door, arrest them, shoot them, and take their gold. That never happened. Is the United States on the Bitcoin standard?
Maybe we will be soon.
But the point really is we're not. Right? It's totally not a reasonable comparison. You know, people have these inflammatory, you know, tropes or inflammatory memes that they use, and it's like, I say that because I want you to give me your money. Okay? Like, if you don't trust the bank, then you'll buy my hardware wallet. If you don't trust this government, you'll move to my country and you'll buy a passport from me. That's the kind of fear-mongering to get you to give me your money, right? And I use it to sell you a gun, to sell you a hardware wallet, to sell you an account, to sell you a financial advisor, to sell you an insurance policy, to sell you a, you know, fill in the blank.
So I do agree with him at that end point for sure, because everyone, for the most part, is selling something. It's a tension-grabbing economy to get you to eventually be a regular customer and also in the country, you know? But I don't know. This one seemed like it was chopped up. Like, this one was chopped up a little bit. Whoever posted this, so this was from Crypto B. This wasn't the full. This obviously was just this was just chopped up in clips from the original interview. So we'd have to go and go into the actual interview, find that, see if we could break it down a little bit more. But okay, so. This is another clip. We're buying Bitcoin to hold it for 100 years. That 66K to 16K crash shook out the tourists. When it was 16K, we were all ready to ride it to zero. I feel like that's kind of how we feel right now. We're like, we better just start buying it now because we're holding it to, whether it goes to $1 million per coin or zero per coin, we gotta try something.
I want to talk about where you think Bitcoin is, but also want to talk about how you think about MicroStrategy and your company as a proxy for Bitcoin now that ETFs are available to the public.
Sure. Well, I think I'd start just with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is certainly at least digital gold. It's going to eat gold. It's got all of the great attributes of gold, and it's got none of the defects of gold. If you could teleport gold from New York to Tokyo in a few minutes, people would like it. It's going to divert capital from risk assets and risk ETFs like SPY, and you can see that these ETFs are doing that.
Now, whenever this interview was done, it was trading at 72,000, and now let's see where we're sitting at. Let's see where we're sitting currently. Oh man. All right, so it's definitely doing some oh, it's starting to do some things, guys. I don't like it. Oh man. All right, let's look at the Bitstamp chart. Let's look at the Bitstamp chart. Check this out. Hope you guys are doing well. It seems like we could be getting we're getting some rejections here. This could be, it could still be playing out as a bear trap because we could bounce off of another low here to then, because this is just like, what is this nonsense? This is just nonsense. This is what gets people wrecked, because then it's like you don't know which way it's gonna go. Yeah. It's like you don't even know which way it's going to go. It's just skirting. It's skirting right now. Skirting and skating. Flopping, as Crypto Face would say, flopping and groping. Flopping and groping. Yeah. Could be that we hit right back down into the support again. Right here at 66.7, which is that exact same area we just bounced off of 2 times. 1, 2. We're gonna do it a 3rd time. Basically, do this, and then complete that pattern. Because then we'd be looking at a 70K breakout formation from this. Looking more like in the cards that we're going to be doing this. But we'll see. We will see. But yeah, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. We got 16 of you watching, tuning in on the YouTubes, on the tubes. So if you're watching on the TV, you hit up, right, select, and that is how you hit the like button if you're watching on your fancy TV. And also, obviously, if you're watching on the phone, you just take your thumb and you just hit it. Make sure you're in the Discord. Make sure you guys are tuning into these live streams on a daily basis, and you go to danocrypto.com. This is just like a little hub. You can get some nice little memeage visuals of the market. You can check the crypto bubbles. Got all the nice widgets here, and also the blog posts that need to be massively updated. But yeah, we like this website. We've been updating this thing a lot. We really like the new logo up here, like a neon sign. All right, so we'll mention about the elections. The election, we got Trump, 64% chance. This is on Polymarket. 35% chance of a Trump presidency. The odds really started to go right at this split right here. Since the beginning of October, we've started to see a big downtrend on Harris and a massive upswing on Trump. And if you've been watching all of the interviews and all of the different things leading up on the campaign trail, and all of the celebrities that have been supporting Harris, and if you kind of do your research, you would probably know that a lot of the people and the celebrities that are are supporting and coming out in support of the Harris campaign and the Democrats, they're on lists. They're on the lists. If you know what lists I'm talking about, then good on you. But yeah, all these celebrities are on the list. That's why they're coming out in mass support in droves for the Democratic Party, because they're like, hey, if you don't come out and support, just remember you're on the list. Don't want to be on the list. Never be on the list. All right, let's see how the altcoins are doing right now. Yeah, for real. Okay, so right now the altcoins that are outperforming everything on a Bitcoin retrace is Ponky. Ponky's doing really well. Ponky's getting a lot of eyes on that project. We're really bullish on Ponky. That's definitely one of our gem holds on Solana. And then Caspa is actually doing really well. It's up 4% against the market here. We got Chainlink up 3%. And then Silver is, I think, starting to now catch up. I told you guys Silver is going to start breaking out here because it's kind of like it's going to be laggy on gold, but it still gives you an opportunity to get a really decent return on Silver. So Silver currently right now is actually starting to make some moves. Could see a 50% move in Silver here in the next couple months. Then we got Tron. Tron is up. Tron's up 1.1%. Bullish on Tron. I think what they're doing with the meme space and the sun pump and the liquidity that is the capabilities of what is on Tron makes me think about using Tron more often. And then obviously we have Solana has been breaking out. Solana breaking out of that little wedge here. We had just this like kind of little breakdown, and then we started to get a nice little push to the upside, tested back down into some support, which brought us back up here, tested here, and then that created another wedge to bring us to the upside. And now this is some interesting formations here because it's just showing basically now what is like kind of like this little regression trend going on. I think so too. I think Solana is going to hit $800 to $1,000 peak of the cycle for sure. And I do believe that it will be a multi-cycle coin that we can bet that because of Solana doing a phone, all of the things that they're going to be involved with of trying to like always be like that under ETH coin, right? But right skirting with BNB, I would still be super bullish on Solana. But we could see this is kind of creating a bit of a channel here. We start to see a little channel here. It looks like then we'll start to break that 171, and then we'll hit the top of the band. We break the band, and then we could go to 175. So I would say that at the look of this, because of the way that this channel is operated here in the past 45 minutes, coming off this 161, we could be going to 165 here, just kind of dipping down to 166, 165, and then we get a push right back up into 171. So if you're looking for some trades, that might be something to look at. If you're looking for a Solana trade. And then we are sitting, if you are looking at the all-time highs, we are sitting how far away? We are, let's go to the daily. Let's go to the daily because we are I mean, let's see. We're so close to the all-time high. 25% off the all-time high. No, it was 250. What am I thinking? It's 260. 260. That's what it was, 260. I knew it was more than that. Okay. So we are 54% away from the all-time high with Solana. And let's see what the MACD actually looks like with Solana. I bet the weekly MACD looks really good on Solana too. It does look good because we got a nice cross here. And I wanted to point out the MACD on Bitcoin too looks really, really good on the weekly. And I would bet to say that, oh, yeah, AVAX looks really good too. TON, not so much. Tron, a little bit more bullish. We don't have enough data for that. Link, super bullish on the MACD. Shows strength for going into the next 6 months. That's what we've been eyeing. 6 month allocation point. We got about 3 months of solid accumulation that we can get into this market. And that might be, I don't want to say it, but it might be your last chance to get these prices. It's not your last chance to buy crypto and still make good returns. But for these particular prices, this might be the last chance. This next 3 months, that's it. Like, once we're past the 3 month point, I don't know what, I mean, it's price discovery at this point. It's going to be price discovery. And that's why we're here. We're here to discover those prices. We're here to be in the markets, to be discovering those prices. And not be coming in as exit liquidity when we start to see those crazy prices. We already knew. We were here. All right. Thank you guys for coming in. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.